Welcome to Heavy Metal Archives. Please click right here on the subscribe now button on the front page of the channel. Today we're going to go over some of the things happening in the rock world. First up, let's see what we have on Ultimate Classic Rock. Sammy Hagar hates the bum rule. What's going on with that? Sammy Hagar hates bum rule that blocks his charity donations. Let's scroll through here and take a look. Sammy Hagar expressed his unhappiness over charity donation laws that prevent him from giving money directly to those in need. The former Van Halen singer explained that he gives away most of the profits from his businesses, and he has a lot of businesses, folks, and said he makes a point of being hands-on about donation practices. Let's see, in a quote via Blabbermouth, Sammy says, "I go down to food banks. Every town I've played for the last 10 years, I write a check to the food bank," Hagar told Clay Marshall via Blabbermouth. "Sometimes on days off, I go down to the food banks and hand out food to people and talk to them and find out why they're in the food line." He continues by saying, "If you only got 50 bucks that you can afford, give it to your local food bank because it goes a long way. If you've got a few thousand or 10,000, tens of thousands of dollars, then you can start helping kids in hospitals and families and terminally ill children that run out of insurance, don't have insurance. I can't even talk about it. It's horrible. That's my main cause. And if I have a restaurant that makes $250,000 a year to me, which I do, I give it to the local hospital." Sammy Hagar, he's a good guy. He goes on to talk about how he doesn't care for this law. And here we have Sammy Hagar promises free shows as his festival, it's a mouthful, is canceled. And what this is recently, Sammy has a festival. He's done it 1 year. It's called the High Tide Beach Party and Car Show. But this year it got canceled because the company he's using to help him get all the permits and what have you did not secure the proper permits, and he lost the venue. Here's a quote from Sammy. "Like you, I'm surprised and disappointed about High Tide and sorry for fans who are inconvenienced. I'll make it up to you, Redhead, starting with an extra show 10/8 at the Wabos in Cabo. Old style, first come, first serve." So we've got two stories here about Sammy Hagar where he's making it up to fans and he's being very charitable. Sammy Hagar, patron saint of rock and roll. Over here on Blabbermouth, James Hetfield. Unfortunately, he has had a little backslide. Looks like James Hetfield is headed back to rehab. Metallica's James Hetfield re-enters rehab for addiction. Australia, New Zealand tour postponed. Let's see here. The band announced the postponement in an emotional note earlier tonight. That's September 27th. They wrote, "We are truly sorry to inform our fans and friends that we must postpone our upcoming tour of Australia and New Zealand. As most of you probably know, our brother James has been struggling with addiction on and off for many years. He has now, unfortunately, had to re-enter a treatment program to work on his recovery again." And it goes on to say they fully intend to make up the shows. It talks more about James's ongoing problems with addiction. Down here, it's during a 2017 interview with the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Hetfield spoke in more detail about checking into rehab 17 years ago and how he almost lost his family in the process. "Fear was a big motivator in that time for me," Hetfield said. "Losing my family, that was the one thing that scared me so much. that was the bottom I hit, that my family is going to go away because of my behaviors that I brought home from the road. I got kicked out of my house by my wife. I was living on my own somewhere. I did not want that. Maybe as part of my upbringing, my family kind of disintegrated when I was a kid. Father, my father left, mother passed away, had to live with my brother, and then kind of just, where did my stuff go? It just kind of floated away. I do not want that happening, no matter what's going on. We're going to talk this stuff out to make it work. And it goes on a little more about Hetfield's past struggles and what motivates him. And we wish James a speedy recovery and continued sobriety. He has had a lot of struggles with it. I know a lot of people like to make the joke, Metallica was better when James wasn't clean, but that's not the right way of thinking. Of course, the man's health is far more important than anything else, and his talent is not limited by his use of alcohol or drugs. Speaking of somebody else who is synonymous with alcohol, or was in the 80s, watch David Lee Roth perform with his Las Vegas band for the first time. What do we have here? It was recently announced that Dave has proclaimed himself the face of Van Halen for the foreseeable future, and this swarms around the band's continued non-committal to a new tour and possibly health issues surrounding Eddie Van Halen. So it looks like Diamond Dave is not going to wait any longer. He's put together another band to do a Las Vegas residency. Hey, look at this guy here playing guitar. Does he kind of resemble someone? Maybe a young Eddie Van Halen? Who knows? David Lee Roth performed with his new band publicly for the first time on Thursday, September 26th, as he prepares for his upcoming Las Vegas residency. One of the attendees shared video of the invite-only show at SIR Rehearsal Studios in Los Angeles, featuring Roth and his backing musicians running through snippets of Atomic Pump, Ain't Talking About Love, Dance the Night Away, Running with the Devil, and Panama. Roth's residency at the House of Blues at Las Vegas' Mandalay Bay kicks off January 8th. He recently told the Atlanta radio station Rock 100.5 that he started getting ready for the Sin City run last October. So he's been planning this for quite a while. And down here it says, in a separate interview with the Van Halen news desk, Roth shot down suggestions that his Las Vegas residency will simply see him covering Van Halen classics with a new backing band. We do not sound like Van Halen live. You have not heard this. He said Van Halen live is lead guitar, bass, drums, sing. Here we bring it the way a record brings it. To do that requires 2 or 3 guitars. We have 5 people hollering. It's a big rock sound. It's not just a gigolo. It's not brass band. Dave. That was a quickie vacation. This is not a tribute band. However, it has been reported that he will be playing a lot of Van Halen classics on this, regardless of how many guitars he brings on stage. At press time, Roth's backing band hadn't been revealed, but he promised a changing set of 26 instantly recognizable songs, pulled primarily from the Van Halen catalog. You only need 5 songs, Roth said. You must have 5 songs in order to play Las Vegas. It says that in the Bible or the Torah. Folks, I'm not sure which verse that is. Roth 3:16, I don't know. Or somewhere, we're pretty sure. Well, I have 20 songs. There is an attitude in Las Vegas. It's where you go to celebrate whatever living life large means to you. Tickets for David Lee Roth Rocks Vegas start at $63.50 and are on sale now. Run and get them, folks. And let's see what else we have. We're surfing around blabbermouth.net now. Now here's an interesting one. Let's read this one. Janet Gurr's guitar slip out of his hand, fly into crowd during Iron Maiden's San Antonio concert. Iron Maiden's Janet Gurr's, I probably butchered that, who is always swinging and throwing his guitar. I've seen this before. His guitar during the band's live performance lost grip of his instrument during a recent concert, and the incident was captured on video. And I'm sure that's all over YouTube, folks. I'll be looking for it when I get off this. A fan who attended the gig told Blabbermouth.net at the last U.S. Legacy of the Beast tour date in San Antonio, Janet was twirling his guitar. He lost control of it, and it flew off and hit a security guard, no less, in the back of the head and upper torso. It literally flew about 10 feet. They returned it, and you could tell he was apologetic, I would imagine. The security guard was okay, but his eyes were the size of golf balls, and he was in shock. The security guard wasn't injured, that's good, as it was a grazing blow, but he was clearly shaken for a moment. And, you know, if you catch a Stratocaster upside the head, it's gonna glaze you, daze you, and confuse you. See, he's often been the subject of criticism for his flashy performance style, which many fans feel is out of step with Maiden's more traditional approach. Radio personality Eddie Trunk gave his opinion on the matter in a 2009 blog entry after seeing Maiden perform in Florida. He wrote at the time, this is Eddie Trunk, "As much as I love Maiden, I must state what has been so obvious to so many for so long. Nobody can figure out why the band tolerates Janet Gurr's, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name, performance style. Don't know the man." Hey, that's Eddie Trunk saying he doesn't know somebody in rock and roll. "Don't know the man, and I hear he is a nice guy, but he behaves like he is auditioning for Dancing with the Stars on stage and not playing guitar in Maiden. Not even sure what he is doing. Cannot possibly be turned up in the mix much at the time. I know so many that have said the same thing. It's just not right for Maiden, especially with other Maiden guitarists, Adrian Smith and Dave Murray, in classic mode on stage. I'm sure he's talented and a good guy, but it's way over the top and painful to watch that side of the stage. I love some of the things he has written with Maiden, and I'm not for a minute saying he should be out of the band, but someone dancing and spinning his guitar just seems so out of place in Maiden." Let's see. Adrian Smith later defended his performance style, telling Trunk in an interview, "Some people enjoy it. I think it's interesting to have contrasting styles and different personalities within the band." He added, "We actually have to be quite disciplined when we play. I mean, I do, because the songs, some of the arrangements are quite complex, and we play them very fast. And if I start throwing my guitar around, I just lose the plot, so I don't. Janet's fine, and it's what he does, and it's cool." I've often wondered about that. You know, Malmsteen used to do it a lot. I don't know. I mean, you knew it was bound to happen at some point, and it's probably happened several times. There's no telling how many times during the 80s, before we had smartphones everywhere, that guitars went flying out in the stage in Poughkeepsie somewhere. Robert Plant looks back on Mighty Rearranger album in the latest episode of Digging Deep podcast. Jeff Tate celebrates 8th anniversary of Mind Crime, Santa Clarita, California. Queen and Adam Lambert perform at Global Citizen Festival. There's a sad story. The legendary Ginger Baker of Cream is holding his own in hospital. That's not sad. It's sad that the man is sick. He's getting on up there. Let's see what we got here. Legendary Cream drummer Ginger Baker is holding his own less than a week after being admitted to the hospital last Wednesday. Ginger's family revealed that he was critically ill and called on fans to keep him in your prayers tonight. Earlier today, Sunday, September 29th, that's when I'm recording this, the 80-year-old's family took to social media to confirm that Ginger is holding his own, and thanks to fans for their good wishes. They added, he is receiving visits from close family and very special friends. Baker has experienced a number of health issues in recent years. In 2016, he underwent open heart surgery, which forced him to cancel a run of tour dates and suffered a fall. It looks like he was diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and osteoarthritis. Mr. Baker has indeed had his share of health concerns, but it looks like he may be on the mend. We give him our best as well as James Hetfield and hope they are both doing better. Okay, guys, well, that's the news for today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check back often. Hit that bell notification for Heavy Metal Archives as we try to keep you updated on the happenings going around the heavy metal world. Once again, hit that subscribe button right there on the front page. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.